Live on ultiworld.com, we have Ohio State coach Shannon Ball and Captain Stacy Liu. Dios, this one for you. You're the only one with semifinals experience of this group.
That's not exactly true.
Is that not true?
Elaine.
Oh, true. Yeah, also the coaching staff.
She was on the 14 team. Yep.
What was the pep talk, so to speak, for the team before this game?
Really just to approach the game like we'd been approaching any other game, that just being on that field in that moment was not to be any different than any of the other games in the way we approached it, other than the opponent being different and knowing that they were going to come at us hard.
Katie Reynolds here for ultiworld.com as well. What adjustments, if any, did you make in the second half trying to face that brutal UCSD zone defense?
We were really just trying to work on getting our legs moving more to see if we could pull some of those defenders out of the way. But they were pretty true to that defense, and they weren't really giving us those gaps we really wanted to shoot through. So later in the second half, we did try to move some of those defenders using our handlers instead of our cutters to do that. But again, you know, and we did score a couple of late points there, whether that was because our adjustments worked or just because it was late in the game for them as well. But yeah, that defense that stymied us, and I think we were short one tool in our toolbox perhaps facing that zone.
Another question. I'm curious if there was any discussion about bringing Sadie Jazierski more consistently behind the disc in that zone defense as an adjustment.
Yeah, there were a couple lines we had out there where we did have the conversation looking at the other players that were on those lines. And this was particularly when we were in what was essentially the upwind direction. And we knew we wanted to get her in motion for the throws to get us out of those situations. So putting her back behind all of that, we didn't feel like that was necessarily going to, necessarily give us the strongest position either. So, yeah, we tried to keep her in motion more.
Stacy, I wanted to ask, and this is Keith from ultiworld.com. The team has played a lot of close games throughout the season and here this past couple of days. How do you feel like the team emotionally responds to the challenge of being in a high-pressure situation?
So we are able to rise to the occasion, and I think we did this weekend. Like, we really pushed through. Like, our signature game style is grit. And that definitely shined through this weekend in all of our tight games. I think they might have been a little bit tighter than we wanted, but again, like, we pulled through, like, we pushed through, and you can see that when we were playing, like, no under was, like, left unforced, or no cut was left, like, what's the word I'm looking for, ran through. So I think that was kind of, like, what was driving us through these games. I don't know if that answered your question. I kind of trailed.
And for either of you, was there a point in this game that you felt like was really a pivotal turning point that you would point to?
I'm curious your answer if you want to go first.
You go first.
I think it was coming out of half with the downwind offense and not getting that and being broken on that downwinder. We were pretty upbeat at halftime, and knowing that if we could have gotten that downwinder coming out of half and just kind of feeling good about that, that could help set us up for a good defense to go upwind then. But getting broken on that first one, I think that was kind of a big one.
Yep, that's also what I was going to agree with. Is right out at that point, right out of half, like, I think we had a lot of heat, we had a lot of fire, and we were going to, like, go all out and play as gritty as we could. But as soon as they broke us, it was kind of like disappointing for everyone, and it brought the energy down. It was hard for us to get back out of that rut, and that's kind of been a struggle that we've had in the past. Like, not much with this season, this team, but like in past Fever teams, we would get in a rut, and then it would be very, very hard for us to play come back, because we just are a very emotional team. We drive really a lot on that energy.
You all had a really strong year, beating a lot of really good teams. How good was UCSD out there?
Yeah, I mean, we just couldn't figure out an answer to them. When you're running between points and just trying to make adjustments on the fly, it's not enough time. We almost needed, 4 timeouts to take and sit down with a whiteboard and draw it all out again. So just making the small adjustments that you can make, just wasn't enough. And we'd cough up the disc, and there was nothing we could do to really stymie them then on the defensive side with our O-line out there. So, yeah, it was hard. It was, all the props to them. That defense was hard for us today.
Becky Thompson here with Fulcrum Media and USA Ultimate. A tough loss today, but how do you take this experience and learn from it, and what's the plan for the future going into next season?
Well, we're going to be losing this one, but and of course a lot of others and a couple of big names too. But I'm hoping that the little-known secret is that we've got a lot of young players right now that are really stepping up, and I think we got everyone in even on that game, and that wasn't like, oh, we're cashing it in and we're going wholesale or whatever. We put everybody in because we're comfortable putting fresh legs in and getting them that experience, and that's true of our quarterfinal game earlier today. Even I think everybody got in that one. So, there were very few games at this tournament that few people got in, or few people didn't get in. So I think that's a testament to where we're headed with this program. I think so. This is going to sting, and I think having those girls have that experience for those that are going to be able to come back and understand what that feels like. Again, keep building on that from here.
I'd like Sonic to answer this one first, if possible. Bright future, but if you can put into words, reflecting back on the season, how will this season be remembered for you individually and for the Fever program?
I think all out passion, like that's kind of how everyone's been playing. Like we have such a big graduating senior class. Like all of us have gone into every tournament being like, this is our last one. Like I know I was just going all out 100% for everything. So that's the theme.
Yeah, I'd agree with it. I'm not sure I knew all the time how those seniors were sort of working that behind the scenes in terms of motivating themselves and motivating the rest of the team. And I missed a little bit of the middle of the season from a tournament perspective, and then got to see that fire come out at Northwest Challenge, and that was pretty amazing to see. So yeah, I think there was a fire there for sure. So it's definitely hard to see it go out in that game.
Dee, I wanted to shift focus just briefly. Something that on our outlet we've talked a lot about is the rookie class this year in the division, and between both the rookie class and some of the stars of the division, you had a chance to work with many of them on that 2016 Junior Worlds under 20 U.S. national team, including some of the players on the Fever team we just had a chance to watch. Seeing how much those players have impacted the division, what does that make you think about? How does that make you feel?
It just means to me that this division is going to get harder and harder to beat, right? If you're a school that is able to sort of access those types of players, I think you're going to be able to build on that pretty quickly and build systems that will take you deep, whether it's getting to this tournament and then playing deep into this tournament. But yeah, I just think it's a sign that this division is going to get harder and harder to work through for sure.
Live on Ulti World, Deanna Ball, Stacey Liu. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks.
Live on ultiworld.com, we have UC San Diego players Avery Jones, Alex Diaz, and Dina Elimelech.
Becky Thompson here with Fulcrum Media and USA Ultimate. And first of all, congratulations on the win, a pretty commanding win as well. Dina, I'm going to come to you first. Right off the bat, you got a layout hand block on the end zone line in that first point of the game. Do you feel like that helped set the tone for how the rest of the game went?
Yeah, a little. I think everybody was so intense right off the bat, right off the pull, that it wouldn't have mattered, and somebody else would have bit it or skied someone or something. Yeah.
Can we ask the same question to the other two players?
I would say yes, and I didn't get to see it, but I just saw her on the ground, and I heard everyone yelling, and I was like, oh, classic Chrome. So I wasn't really that impressed, but I'm glad it happened.
I'd say same. It was classic Chrome all day. Sorry about my voice. I think if Chrome didn't do it, another person would have. But it's always Chrome. It's she gets to the punch first, so we can always rely on her to do that, and I think it helped push us.
Keith Rayner, ultiworld.com. While we're talking about Dina's highlights, one of the big plays of the day was the score to send the team to semifinals. A really hard-fought game in that one. Can you talk a little bit about how that game affected where you were coming into this game?
Me?
Sure.
I think the tightness of the game made us and the comeback made us so proud of each other that no matter what had happened in semis, we would have been proud.
That was like one of my favorite games we've ever played. Like before, like going into it, we were like, whatever happens, happens. But that was like such an exclamation point and like so deserving of like Chrome to catch it in the end zone. Like that was really cool. As it like right now, I'm so happy with what we've done so far.
Yeah. I think making it to quarters was like, obviously that's better than how we went out last year, and that was already what we wanted to do, and everything on top of that is just exclamation points, like Sarcy said, onto this amazing season that we've had. And just that game is the resilience that we've been working for all season. That's all we've been working on is mental game and being able to come back and do that. And Chrome's been one of the main ones pushing us to do that, and you can always count on her for something big like that. So,
Katie Reynolds of ultiworld.com. Speaking about mental toughness, I know you had a tough game with Ohio State at Northwest Challenge. How did thinking about that game or the experience in that game change how you came into this semifinal?
I don't really remember that game very well. It was all I remember was the field was uphill, and so we complained about that a lot. But that probably wasn't the reason that we lost. I don't know. New game, new day.
yeah, I'd say that game was good for us to get a feel of what players they have, what movement they do, and we really used that. We had talks about what we needed to force them to do and how we should play against them, but I think that game might have just fired us up. That made us recognize how good of a team they are and how much we need to work for every spot in this tournament. So.
Hi, Graham Gerhardt from multiworld.com. One of the things that you guys have really done excellently this season has been your defense, especially your person and zone defense. You've been able to switch it. Offense and defense both have really been able to come together and create a strong defensive line. Do you maybe want to talk about the defense that you threw against OSU in this game and how it worked for you, and then after the turn, what you guys did to pull off, I think it was 10 breaks in your game?
It's confidential.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much we can talk about that. I'd say if we need to fall back on anything, we can always fall back on our person defense. I think everyone on this team, we trust each other to play hard, solid defense, and the zones. We'll keep that confidential.
Yeah, I think when we switched to man defense and we're really trying to get a D, people play tight and people play aggressive and smart, and yeah, our zone is really great and effective because we're all really good at communicating with each other. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, there's like a lot of seniors in the cup, which is fun. I just like playing zone with my friends. It's like the best. Yeah, but we're not going to tell you anything about it.
Daniel Prentice for ultraworld.com. For every game, every team has a game plan and a vision of how the game is going to go. How close was that performance to being a perfect game from y'all?
Did we have a game plan? I mean, I don't think there was a way that we necessarily like knew this was gonna go or wanted this to go. Like we wanted to play every point like it was our last game, like it was our last point. Put everything you have out there. Play for everyone that you're playing with, because this team's amazing and we play for each other, and we know that any game could be your last game. So I think it was give it your all, and whatever happens, happens. And yeah, happened.
Was there a point in this game where you really felt like we have control of this game? Like, this is our game to lose, and you started to feel like you really had a great shot at going to the final?
I mean, in upwind downwind games, it's kind of hard to like be very confident in that. So no, I wouldn't say that. But I was very confident in our D-line playing really like mature, confident upwind zone offense. That was all I was really confident that we could do that over and over again.
I think I didn't let myself look at the scoreboard at any point because I'm superstitious in some weird ways sometimes. It's weird, but I just didn't want to know like where the game was at. Like, we needed to play hard on every point, and I could tell like we were getting close, but it was like it's not over till it's over. So, and especially in the wind, every break is usually 2 breaks, and so it can come back fast. So, got to keep pushing.
Alex, you mentioned that the mentality of the team is often to play every point, every game, like it could be the last. The next one will be the last one for the team. What would it say about your team if you're able to win a national championship tomorrow?
I don't think it'd say anything more than we've already said. I think we'll play our hardest, and again, if it happens, it happens. And all we want is to put everything on that field. So, I mean, it would be great. It would say more, but I think we've said a lot about our program already and what we can continue to build.
So, touching on the final tomorrow, how are you guys going to prepare for the game against Dartmouth? Do you have any thoughts on your game plan and maybe handling some of those big matchups that are going to be on the field?
We're gonna hydrate, and we're gonna go to bed at 8 o'clock, and then we're gonna wake up and we're gonna play. I don't know. We know who all their like good players are, and we're gonna do our best and put good defenders on them.
Yeah.
That's it.
You're right. We're going to sleep. We're waking up.
Yeah.
We're playing. Is that what's gonna happen? We're gonna talk about within the team, figure out what the best matchups are, what the best defenses are. But yeah, at the end of the day, we're just playing.
Dina, you said before the game that you were excited to play against Sadie Jazierski. Do you have any thoughts about matching up with Jack Verzier tomorrow?
They're really good. We watched the UNC Dartmouth live stream. I'm just excited to be there and learn. And I think whatever does happen, it'll be a fun matchup, an exciting matchup. Yeah.
From multiworld.com, Avery Jones, Alex Diaz, Dina Elimelech. Thanks so much for your time.